I'm in my 20th year of entrepreneurship. I know I look very young, but I'm really not. But started my first business in 2001. It was a tech company. It was a media and events platform in my hometown of Columbus, Ohio. So I went to school for journalism, and then I went to school for IT. And initially, I got into tech because I wanted to have skills that I could apply in the media world, technology skills. But then after I started to really get into tech and you know, it was really cool and I seen all the possibilities, I decided that I wanted to build my own platform, my own media platform essentially with my business partner. And we were only 21 years old and we grew a website to 100,000 local users a month, unique hits and visits, and we had a membership. We were doing streaming video, streaming music before YouTube, before all these things. We were way ahead of our time, but we were in Columbus, Ohio. And I always say if I was in Silicon Valley, I would have been a millionaire in my 20s, but it just wasn't, any guidance or mentorship there. So I've always had like the tech bug and tech itch. And so then after that business, we got offers for acquisition, but my partner did not want to sell. It was a 50-50 partnership. But I wanted to move on. And so I started to do consulting. I did consulting for 6 years, working with companies that wanted to have an online presence, who wanted to do what I did, essentially build an online crowd, engage online, offline, merge, in-person guerrilla marketing with online marketing. This is in the very early days of email marketing, before any of these major clients that we use today existed. I was, sending out emails to thousands of people a week in BCC and AOL. So I really have grown over my career in digital marketing, and that's kind of what my base skill set is digital marketing, online marketing, and building community. So of course that helped a lot and translated when I did crowdfunding because I have the expertise in online marketing. After I did that business, I got the, I've seen about myself, like I'm an entrepreneur that likes to solve problems. And so when I was doing the consulting and doing the digital marketing and things, I used to do a lot of digital marketing for like events, parties, venues, restaurants, and I used to attend a lot of these events. And I used to see women walking barefoot after they were in heels. And I lived in Miami at the time, Miami, Florida. And so I got the idea to start a shoe company. Now, no, I did not have any consumer product experience, but from being in the marketing business, I had worked on many different campaigns and product launches and things over the years for other people's products. So I knew how to market. I know how to sell, I know how to market. And if you have those skills, you can basically sell and market anything. And so I decided to start a business that sells rollable ballet flats to women when their feet hurt. It's called Flat Out of Heels. And my idea was to sell those shoes in vending machines. Because obviously when your feet hurt and you're out, you can't go to the store. They hurt right there. And it's like when you're thirsty and you're walking, vending machines, you get a soda. You need to be able to get a pair of shoes just like that. And so that's how I even got into the vending business. I was just solving a problem that I identified. And so I said, okay, I'm going to make these shoe vending machines. And once I did that, and I'm really condensing a 20-year career into like 5 minutes. Once I did that, and I got a lot of press and media around the novelty of shoe vending machines, then people started to contact me, hundreds of businesses, hundreds of operators, hundreds of people asking me, can I help them to, can I sell them vending machines? Which I wasn't set up to do that. I was just hacking my way through my own problem. But that led me to start my company now, PopCom, which is Solutions Vending, but PopCom is our trade name, in 2012, and really dig deep into the vending industry. And when I got into the vending industry, I realized it's very low tech enabled. There was like no technology. At this time, they didn't even accept credit cards. It was so archaic. It was unbelievable. And so I decided that I was going to make my mark by applying technology and high tech into vending machines to make them more attractive for retailers that sell higher price point items like $20 and up. And so that's where PopCom was born. And it's come a long way since then. Now we work with all kinds of companies. We've worked for years to finish our flagship product called the Pop Shop. We also have a product called the PopCom API, which integrates into hardware, and we use facial detection, machine learning for ads. We calculate conversion rates. We count traffic using a camera. So it's a lot. You can learn more about the business, on the website. I don't want to go too deep because I really want to be here to answer your questions. My story is all over online, but I'm really here to help today. But just so you know, my wide range of experience, I pretty much have been through it all, lots of failures and lots of successes. And I've raised, in my total career, I've raised about $10 million. But for this particular business, I've raised $2.5 million.
And counting, right?
Every day.
And counting. No, it's awesome. It's an incredible story. It's awesome to hear too, coming from like Columbus. I'm in Pittsburgh right now. I just kind of spent my time here in New York, but I went to school at Dayton, so I was like super close to Columbus. Had a lot of friends from Ohio and whatnot. And there's a different feel out here than in like New York and the Bay Area and whatnot. And it's just like, it's more of a hustle and grind here. And like there, everyone's just focused on raising money and this and that. And no one actually is trying to build like a real business. Like, and they don't have there's so many more investors that are out there and whatnot. So I love how you kind of, built it from the ground up. And I really appreciated what you were saying about if you understand sales and marketing, you can basically do almost anything. Yeah. And I want to get into that real quick too, before we start talking about PopCom and kind of the equity crowdfunding and raising money. And you mentioned this with your first company, I think it's Urban Star, right?
Yeah.
So how did you, and this probably applies to your other businesses and right now too, but how did you do how did you get your first 1,000 website video or viewers? How did you start building this following? What are your tactics that you used back then to start building your following, to start getting website traffic, to start getting customers, to start building your memberships? How did you build that up? And then what were those sales tactics? And then do they still apply now, or are you doing something different in today's world?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I want to start by saying I read a book I was in my early 20s. It was called A Personal Touch by Terry Williams. And she's a publicist, had great success working with PR campaigns from major companies. And she talked about the importance of having a personal touch, having a one-on-one contact with people. And in the world of where everything is digital, people now more than ever appreciate a personal contact that's not a bot, So in the beginning, I built my business by literally going outside of venues, nightclubs, restaurants, bars, malls, everywhere, every day with a clipboard, because there was no such thing as an iPad or tablet. That didn't exist. We're talking about 2001. There was no smartphones. There were no Blackberries yet. So took a clipboard out there and wrote, I said, we're starting a list. We'll send you information about weekly events in the city. Can I have your email address? And we just wrote them down by hand. And then I would spend the evening inputting them. I know clipboard is hilarious. Inputting them manually into an Excel spreadsheet. And that's how I managed my list. And there was no CRM. There was no MailChimp. There was no HubSpot. There was none of that. Literally, there was no such thing as an email client yet. The very first one that came out was called Topica. So prior to that, I just had a clipboard, but I talked to people and then the word spread. And, this is when something goes viral before it goes viral online. It's like going viral in real life. And so, talking to people one-on-one, letting them, build a relationship. We also hosted monthly or bi-monthly mixers with our users in the city, hosted events for them just so they can get to know us. I spend a lot of time talking to people, spending one-on-one time, engaging with people. And that's what I still do today. And that I believe that's building up that reputation over the many years of being accessible and available. I mean, now online does make it easier. You can send out a mass message. But yeah, the same tactics marketing is always like a merge of grassroots where you have like as much personal touches or feels like personal. I mean, even today you can send out emails that look like they're from you because they don't have any graphics or anything, but they look very personal. And you can use that. But people just like to feel like you're talking to them and you see them. And that is what I've always had my foundation. Now, I'm not a millennial. I'm a little bit older. So this is just the way you had to do things back then. And I'm really grateful that I have merged my skills in technology with my grassroots marketing skills that are really lost these days. People don't really have flyers or paper, or everything is so digital. But my reputation and my follower base or supporter base has carried on all these businesses. Several people that have invested in PopCom were early Urban Star members. So it takes a long time to build a community that are going to support you all the way through. They bought flat outs. They invested in PopCom. They've supported my career over 20 years.
I absolutely love that.
I want
Go ahead.
everything
Sure.
I say, I want to give a takeaway. I want to give an action item. So this is an action item for all of you. Whether I maintained my relationships, because at this point I have thousands and thousands of relationships with people that know me, and people really feel like they're my friend. They feel connected to me. And so what I did over all these years is I created an email list, a personal email list. So I'll go to conferences or go places, I'll meet people, and I may not have anything to do with them right now as far as partnerships or work, but I'll say, can I send you an email once a month to keep you updated on what I'm working on? And so I built this personal email list where I would email them once a month just to check in. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just telling them, this is what I'm excited about. This is what I'm working on. Do you have any feedback? Just engaging them with my life and career. I did that for many years. So I encourage everybody to start sending out a monthly email update to people you want to keep close. That way you don't have to send a whole bunch of individual emails, but I'll have it like Dawn's monthly newsletter. Quick bullets. I'll put things I'm excited about, things I need advice about. And anything I need, I'll ask them. Hey, anybody know a good accountant? Anybody know, and people love to share. I get about an 80% open rate on my emails. That's really high. And so because they feel like I don't want anything from them. But when I do want something from them, then they open my email. You have to start engaging with people before you want something from them. This as an authentic touch point. Let them get to know you. And then they don't have to wonder, like, why all of a sudden is she asking me for money? They know why. Because they've heard from me once a month for years, and they know what I'm doing. And so now they're happy to be involved. And that's action item right now. Create an email list, a personal email list to send to people with just updating them on what you have going on every month or even bi-monthly.